going on, guys? This is going to be the first in my Facebook find videos. It's just things that I found on Facebook that either pissed me off or I liked or whatever. The first one, there's actually a couple different topics in here, but it's all kind of related. The first one is this. Yeah. A firefighter was detained and arrested for parking his vehicle while he was helping somebody. At first I thought, okay, this has got to be fake. This has got to be fake. What cop would arrest a firefighter? And then I went looking, and no, it's legit. The cop fucking arrested the firefighter. I found the video, and here's the video.
Now here comes Captain Wilson, jumped out of his truck. He immediately has his gloves on.
This is video from a Hazelwood police officer's dash cam in May 2003. The officer had responded to a traffic crash on I-270 near McDonald Boulevard. Emergency workers are tending to a man trapped in his vehicle because of a back injury.
Drivers really want to get where they're going, and they go fast, and they curve or swerve around lanes suddenly.
Attorney Beavis Schock says that's why firefighters from the Robertson Fire Protection District positioned their pumper to create a protective box to extract the victim, closing 2 highway lanes and leaving 2 open. But within seconds, veteran Hazelwood police officer Todd Greaves can be seen ordering the pumper be moved.
That's Captain Wilson saying to his driver, do not move the truck. The truck's providing safety. Now they're arguing.
Fire Captain David Wilson goes back to the patient, but Greaves again demands the pumper be moved. He starts to walk away, but then pulls Captain Wilson away from the patient, handcuffs him, and arrests Wilson.
When you saw this videotape, what was your reaction?
Well, my reaction was with my co-counsel Steve Riles that we wanted to represent this man in federal court and prevail.
That's something else happened. Now, when I did some research on it, the cop said that the fire engine was blocking the traffic. It cut it down to only 1 lane, and that was now the sheriff or the firefighter. His response was it was blocking the traffic because on the freeway, everybody's in a fucking hurry. They can't let anything slow them down. I mean, heaven forbid somebody's over there fucking dying. It might inconvenience them. Fucking might make them 5 minutes late. Heaven fucking forbid. So, they always are trying to swerve around and at the last minute get in. So, they set the fire truck there to block, kind of, make a safety barrier. Which, it is legitimate. If you notice, the cop car is blocking a lane of traffic, and that's where they happen to be working on them. But, I guess you can only block 1 lane of traffic, not 2. It's just insane. And if you see, the firefighter is sitting there working on somebody when the guy pulls him away. I guess when it went to court, the firefighter was the case was let go, or the firefighter was let go. The charges weren't filed on him, or the charges were filed, but they were dropped. But the cop was upset because the firefighter's attorney did a little research, and I guess this cop has had many complaints from professionals all the way down to citizens. This is a power-hungry fucking punk, is what it is. I'm sure you guys have seen the cop. Probably got beat up in school, or his old lady beats him, or whatever. He gets a job with a little bit of authority, and all of a sudden, the chest puffs out, and I'm fucking Superman. You will listen to my authority. Yeah. It's insane that, and to do it while he's working on somebody, they're pulling somebody out of a fucking wreck, and they're sitting there, I guess, getting them stabilized or whatever, and to yank him away like that, I really think the cop needs to be fired. But his lawyer was upset because they used his past against him. Really? You don't see that him having a series of complaints shows a pattern? Or that's what it is. You don't want them to see that pattern. You don't want the judge to see that he's a fucking dick and needs to be fucking kicked off the force. I mean, this is just insane. This is just a power-hungry, insane, ignorant motherfucker. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Am I wrong? I don't think so. Alright. The second one, I don't have the pictures for it. I seen it this morning, and I thought it would be there. And I'm sure if I dug, I could find it. I tried looking for it. There was no real meme or whatever you call it. It was just a thing about whatever, but I couldn't find it. But what it was, Ohio is in the juvenile system. They don't want to use solitary confinement in the jails, in the juvenile jails anymore, because putting a person in isolation like that can give them psychosis, and it makes them go crazy because they don't have anybody to talk to, and I thought it was just ignorant. I mean, we're not talking about kids that are in fucking summer camp. You're talking about kids that are in jail. Alright? If it was up to me, you would get bread and motherfucking water. You wouldn't have shit. Nothing. Maybe if you had good behavior, we might let you get mail. And it's only if you were on your good behavior. You're not in there for relaxation. You're in there to be punished. And they're not putting the good kids in isolation, they're putting the fuck-ups. So you're already in jail. You still can't conform, so they have to further punish you. Now, as a teenager, I did do some time as a juvenile. Actually, a couple times. I don't know if I've told these stories or not, but I did do some time. So I seen the juvenile system, and some of them are in there for shit like runaways, and they're constantly running away, and some of them are in there for hardened shit. And they've got, at least in Ohio, they have different levels. They've got like some of the camps that are really summer camps for the kids that are just little fuck ups, and they've got all the way down to ones that are like real prisons for the hardheads. The ones that just anything from murder to they're being locked up in another installation or another institution, and they just keep fighting and bucking up there. They'll move them, put them in a higher security, which I don't see anything wrong. That's the way it should be. And like I said, the fact that, and it's the tree hugger kind of people that are bringing this law about. Yeah, I know tree hugger is probably not an appropriate term, but you understand the person, you know. Oh, they got TV, well, they need cable TV, you know. It's their right to have cable TV. There's some people out here that are free that don't have fucking cable TV. Why does a prisoner need cable TV? You get where the whole thought of making it easier on these people is just insane. You know, if you made it as fucking rough as possible and as horrible as possible, maybe you wouldn't want to come back. Which it doesn't really work, because the ignorant motherfuckers that are coming back and back and back are just... There's nothing you can do to these people. You might as well just fucking kill them. But that's a whole nother deal. But you know, that's my thought. You know, you can't get along in society. You know, 1, 2, 3, you're done. But it's these people that think that they need to have it easier, and you know, they come fighting for them. Yeah, poor thing. You had to go to isolation. Aw, you were by yourself. Aw. You know, and we're not talking about, you know, like when I was in there, you went to isolation for like a fight. You did 24 hours in isolation. If you can't be by yourself for 24 hours, well, there's a problem. I mean, I think the max I ever seen somebody in there was like 2 or 3 days. And they were for fuck-ups. Somebody that's just can't get it down, you know. What else are you supposed to do? You know, you can't spank them. You can't, you know. It'd be glad I'm not in charge, because things would be a lot harder if I was in charge. Just the way it is. I mean, I think we're too soft on prisoners. You know, if you made it a living hell, then maybe you wouldn't be as inclined to go back. I mean, that doesn't work with everybody, but, you know, if they weren't country clubs, you'd think twice. I mean, if it was just pure hell, you would think twice. And if you didn't, well, fuck you. Yeah, but to think that, I mean, you take away this isolation, that's a form of punishment. Well, what are you supposed to do? Make the kids sit in the fucking corner? Mommy and Daddy tried that. Didn't work. That's why he's in jail. I just don't get it. What do you think that you're supposed to sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk with these people? They're in jail. Do you not understand that? They're in jail. They don't deserve shit. You know? Granted, the food wasn't that great, but it was a balanced diet. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was better than hospital food. But granted, yeah, it wasn't what I'd want. You know, it wasn't Big Macs or pizzas, but it was food. And, you know, if it was days that there were shit on the menu that you didn't like, well, tough shit. Like I said, you'd get fucking bread and water if it was up to me. I damn sure wouldn't be giving you steaks and, you know, spaghetti and lasagna. And really, you know, I think that fucking guy out in Arizona's got it right with the fucking green bologna or whatever it is. Make that shit nasty as fuck. You won't want to come back. Yeah, just my thought. But yeah, I realize we're talking about kids here, but these aren't, like I said, this isn't Vacation Bible School. This is jail. And to take away the one main form of punishment that they've got, I mean, there's not much more that they can do. You know, you can't paddle them. You can add more time, but some of these kids don't give a fuck. And then you got the ones that are in there until they're 21. And you'd think it'd stop at 18, but it doesn't. It goes to 21, at least in Ohio. Now, at a certain point, if the crime's bad enough, it'll transfer to adult, or you may be in there till you're 21 and then go to an adult. But, you know, somebody's in there till they're 21, you can't add more time. So that guy is going to do whatever the fuck they want. You know, it's just my thought. I want your guys' thoughts on this. You know, first the firefighter and the cop. The cop arresting the firefighter for parking his truck in traffic to block traffic. Not to block traffic, but to create a safer barrier for them. There was still a lane of traffic. And the second one, taking away isolation in juvenile jails. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Alright? Peace, guys.